I want to thank you so much for all your recent positive feedback on a video I did about leveling up your crochet game. It made me realize, because I'm getting so much good comments pouring in, that I may need to make a very short series on different ways to level up your crochet games. And I'm going to talk about a few habits and best crochet practices that you can do to level up your crochet. This is not going to be the same advice you've heard 100 times, like weave in your ends right away or clean up your yarn room. We're approaching this from a different way, and it's basically all about your mindset. And there's 2 areas of your mindset that I want to cover. And basically my 3 supporting action areas boil down to these 2 categories of mindset. The first area of your mindset that I want to talk about is that we want to take our obstacles and turn them into opportunities. So there's several things on this list that we'll get into, and it's realizing that things that feel like it's holding you back, if we shift our mindset a little bit, we can actually turn them into opportunities for us to be able to get more crochet done. And then the second area is the fact that you are worth it. You deserve to be able to spend time crocheting if it's something that fulfills you. You deserve to have the supplies you need. You deserve to have something in your life that fulfills you the way crochet does. So let's get into my 3 supporting areas. The first area is going to be delegation. This seems weird, I'm sure. By delegating certain things, you're actually going to create more time in your life and in your schedule for you to be able to crochet. And this is important because if we have a project we're working on and we feel like it is taking forever, it takes so long to get set up and to clean up, or we're like, only have 10 minutes, so we got to rush through it really quick, we're not going to enjoy that. We're not going to find it fulfilling, and it will be like an additional stressor in our lives. And I think that's like most of us want to crochet to get away from the stress, not add more. So let's talk about a few ways we can delegate things in our lives to create more time. And I'm going to say that a couple of these do cost money. If you've been around my channel, you know I am all about saving money and being thrifty. Everyone's budget is different. We are all in different places in our lives. We're in different stages. We're delegating our money and how much money we have to certain things. All of these items might not be feasible to everyone, and I totally get that. But maybe it is, and maybe it's just something you haven't really thought of. So that's why I want to bring it up. The first one is going to be to pick up your yarn at the store. And this can actually save us quite a bit of time, because if you're like me, once you cross the threshold into the yarn store, like you're wandering around and you can probably spend an hour easy just wandering the aisles, because I don't just look at the yarn. I look at the fabric. I look at notions. I look at all the clearance. I look at stuff that aren't even my hobbies. So for me, I could save quite a bit if I place my order online, drive there, and just pick it up. Let the people at the store package that order for you. And this can also save money. I know a lot of times when I'm looking at my Joann app, it says like you can get an additional 20 or 25% off by using the pickup option. So something to think about there. The next one is going to be something that I am so guilty of wasting so much time scouring through YouTube, looking at tutorials for like whatever it is I want to make. And what I want to suggest is that if you're in a stage of life where you do need to delegate some of your time, what I would suggest doing is, instead of spending hours looking for that perfect pattern, go to Etsy, go to Ravelry or any of those places and just look for a highly rated pattern. What's different about this is that, with YouTube, there can be a lot of views, but you don't really know if people are watching it all the way through. I mean, maybe just the thumbnail and title was really good and people clicked out right away. Also, if something's been on there 10 years, it's going to have a lot more views than a video that's been up 2 weeks. So you can't always judge the success of how that project is going to work out by YouTube. But if you're going to a paid site, generally speaking, the pattern maker has tested it, and probably had like other people, like pattern testers, go through it. When you're dealing with a paid site like that, you also get a lot of feedback and ratings. And sometimes, as patterns go along, if there are issues with the pattern, you know, that pattern designer will make alterations on it so that by the time you download it, it's been fully updated and it is like the best it's gonna be. So you're actually delegating your research time to the people on Etsy. And I'm just using Etsy as an example. It could be any of the places, but you've delegated your time because you can see that 500 people have given this a 5-star review or whatever. 2 other ways to delegate some of your activities and gain a little bit of time back are going to be the ones that are a little bit more costly. But again, this might be something that works for you. Think about hiring someone to come in and clean for you ever so often. It might be you need help tidying up your yarn room, or it might just be something where if you have someone come in once a month or however often you decide you need it, that frees up several hours of your time. And, you know, maybe your time is worth that. You could be gaining more in time than you're spending in money. So obviously that's going to be very budget related. And, you know, maybe you live alone and your house is pristine and that's not an issue. But, you know, maybe you have kids, maybe you have animals, and that might help you be able to guilt-free spend some time crocheting that you wouldn't have before. It's not for everyone, but it's something to consider. And then this last one, delegate a little bit of your time if you have a spouse or a partner or teenagers or someone else in the house with you. See if there's a night of the week that they can make dinner for you. That will actually free up a little bit more of your time. Think how relaxing it would be if when you get home from work on Monday evening and there's someone else who can make dinner and clean up the kitchen, and after a stressful Monday you can kick back and crochet an extra 2 hours. I think that might be very refreshing for you and, you know, help you be a better person in general by, you know, filling your needs by spending that enrichment time crocheting. And, you know, if this is also something where you know, maybe no one else can cook or is willing to, maybe it's a pizza night. You know, maybe it's a chicken night where, you know, you pick up food, bring it home, use some paper plates. Again, these are just suggestions. I know this is not for everyone, but having that meal made for you and not having the cleanup and just being able to kick back and spend a couple hours doing something that enriches you could very much be worth it. And if there's other obstacles, you know, really like write it down and see what the obstacle is that's stopping you from crocheting when you want to, and look at it and just with a little bit different mindset and think, okay, what would be an opportunity? How could I alleviate this situation? How could I make this easier? And just brainstorm a little bit. And maybe it's something completely different than what I have down here. You know, maybe you have someone that can watch your kids and you can go to a coffee shop and crochet in quiet for 2 hours. I don't know. I don't know what those obstacles and opportunities might be for you, but I'm pretty sure for most of us, there is a way to switch it from an obstacle to an opportunity. So the next 2 things on this list are going to deal with the fact that you are worth it. The first one is going to be having the proper tools. I am always, like I said, I am a bargain girl. I am a bargain shopper. I like to thrift, but there are a few things that I have found it's just not worth skimping on, and you really just need the right tool for the right job. So I'm going to tell you 4 things that have helped me out a lot. And the first one is going to be stitch markers. And I know that seems elementary. So there are so many people who make like cute stitch markers, and maybe you might even enjoy making them yourself. This is one that was gifted to me at Christmas time a couple years ago, and I absolutely adore it. It reminds me of like some old time Christmas ornaments I have. I'll bring that up here if you want to see that. And it's got like the this type of closure. I don't really know much about like jewelry making and stuff, so I can't tell you what that's called. But I really treasure this. But you can also use, you know, these cheap plastic ones. I have these too. But I do also like, these were cheap off of Lion Brand's website. They were just Lion Brand 24 split ring markers. And I know you can get this type anywhere, but what I do like about this kind right here is that you don't have to waste time like opening and closing it. So if this is a project where it's not going to be jostled around a lot and you don't have to worry about it slipping off, I think these can be a great time saver. I just don't want to have to mess around. I don't want to have to figure out where I need to be. I don't want to have to spend, 10 minutes trying to figure out what row I'm on, which I used to be so guilty about in the beginning. I felt like I didn't want to take the time to get up and go get a stitch marker or use one because I can figure it out. And that just aggravated me. It did nothing to enhance my crochet experience. It just made it kind of annoying. So stitch markers, I believe, are something, just a proper tool for the job. Another great tool that isn't a necessity, but definitely makes things better is going to be like a yarn bowl or some type of yarn dispenser. So this one right here is plastic. I had gotten on clearance last year. It's still got the paper under it, so it's not quite as smooth, but you put your yarn ball on here, and as you pull it, this turns to dispense it. And there's a bunch of different styles of those. I have seen wood ones. I have seen like magnetic ones that hang down from the top. But even just having a yarn bowl that you can pull the yarn through and it keeps the yarn in there is going to make a huge difference. And this is something for me where, how many times have you had it in your lap, and if the yarn isn't good for a center pull, you're going from the outside and then you've got to just keep yanking up like yards of it at a time, and then it rolls down your lap and across the room. And that is aggravating. So definitely look for something. I know you can actually get items like this fairly cheap. The original price on this one was $13 and I got it for $3.24. But I know, like, I have seen on Amazon or Temu or places like that, different type of like yarn butler or yarn dispenser. And yarn bowls for that matter too. I know a lot of people are pretty particular about the types of hook they use. What I want to suggest is definitely using an ergonomic hook, something that feels good in your hand. And it's going to be different for everybody based on, their hand shape, their hand strength, if you've got arthritis in your hands, whatever. Like, I have seen some beautiful, beautiful wooden hooks, but I know for me, anything that has too much weight on the back, I feel less in control, and I feel as though I have to put a lot more effort into my stitches than I do with something with like a nice grip on it. And I do use these regular boy hooks a lot too, but if it's a project that I know is going to be, a bigger project, a blanket, just something large, I'm definitely going to want to use something with a grip just to make my job a little easier and prevent a little more hand fatigue. If I'm working on like a small scarf or something like that with a real fine yarn and I'm not going to be fighting the yarn, something like this would work just fine. But I would recommend that you do have some that just really fit your hand well and work nice and have a good balance for you. And then the last thing I am going to say for having proper tools is I suggest having a whip bag handy. A while back, I decided to assemble myself just a fun bag that I thought would inspire me. And I did a Dolly Parton inspired bag. And I just collected some things that just kind of, made me think about her. And I've got like a little notions tin in here where I've got stitch markers, yarn needle, those type of things. I've also got scissors in here. I have got a pen and a notebook to take notes so I know what I'm doing. But having all of these things readily available in a bag that isn't currently being used is extremely helpful. So if I'm working on a project and I want to continue working on it, but I'm going to be in the car or go to an appointment and have to sit, I want to have a bag handy and that I don't have to go around, dig for a bunch of stuff, and then, get to the appointment and find out I'm sitting there and I've been crocheting for an hour and, I don't have scissors or, don't have whatever it is I need. So I recommend just having a couple little bags around that you can put your stuff in. And I will link the video I did for this bag, and you can see like all of the details of it and the prices and stuff like that. And the other way I want to tell you you're worth it is to invest in certain items that are going to protect your health while you're crocheting. I love to crochet. I want to be able to crochet as long as my hands and my eyes and my brain will let me. So there's a few things that I really think you should look into to help prolong your crocheting career. So the first one is going to be something I don't have yet. It's one of those big crafting pillows that I see people using. My friend Rachel over at the Faded Wildflower Crochet, if you're watching, Rachel, could you write in the comments like what type of pillow you're using? Because I think this is so helpful and I would love to know. And I think a lot of other people could benefit because your posture is going to be better. Your arms are up. Your project is up. You're not bringing your head and your shoulders down to the project. That is definitely on my list of something I want to invest in. Another thing that I don't have, and I don't know if I need this yet or not, but it would be a set of the magnifying glasses. And I'm not talking about readers, but that might work too. I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you wear like readers or cheaters to crochet in, but I'm talking about the crafting magnifying glasses that aren't cute at all, but get the job done. I have seen people who do cross stitch wearing them and also beading, like jewelry making beading. I have seen people wear those too. So something that I don't personally have a lot of experience in, but I think could definitely benefit us. If you're using really dark yarn or something like that, I can see it helping. And I absolutely love this neck light that I have. This has helped me because I can now crochet in the car at night. It also helps even if that's not the case, like just sitting on my couch if it's dark, or I've used it in the daytime with really dark yarns. It has been very helpful too. So just one of those things that it helps illuminate the area. So again, you're not bringing your neck down and causing yourself neck pain and headaches. Now I don't have mine in here. I have a couple pair and I do wash them pretty regularly, but they are in the other room. But I've got myself a couple pair of compression gloves and I don't wear them all the time when I'm crocheting. And to be honest, I more so wear them after crocheting. Like when I go to bed, I'll put them on. This helps because I'm on the computer all day at work. So I have found them incredibly helpful. I have seen a lot of videos with people crocheting with compression gloves, but I would encourage you to grab a pair of those. They're not terribly expensive. And if that can help you with some hand pain and help you to get a little more crochet done, I think it's totally worth it. And then the last thing I want to share with you is something that my daughter actually bought me. I hadn't even seen these before, and they are like hand exercise balls. So there's a few of them here. There's like a few different textures, and they've got like different points on them. Feel a little bit different. Like this would obviously help a little more with some of those pressure points, being able to roll this around on your hands. Just something to help alleviate, again, that stress and that pain. We all develop arthritis as we get older. It's just a fact of life. And the way a lot of our jobs have become, computer related and everything, we need to take care of our hands to be able to continue to crochet. So I believe my daughter just got these off of Amazon, and I know she did not pay a ton, but I would encourage you to look into something like this as well, just to help your hands. A couple of the other things we are going to talk about in future videos are going to be leveling up your yarn, making your yarn a little more high end by pairing it, and what choices you're making. We're going to be talking about leveling up our stitches. If you have any other ideas that you would like to share for this short like mini series on things to level up, I would love to hear it down in the comments. I want to thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I am excited about talking yarn again with you soon. Bye.